This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone, Bruchim Haba, and we continue in Mishna Berura, Daf Hashavua. By the way, bear in mind, next week we're missing Monday and Tuesday. Yeah? So we would have to make up 2 days. I think one of them will do Friday, and we'll think about the other one. Okay. We're up to Sif Katan Tes. The Mechaber said in Sif Gimel, a talis that was properly mitzuyatz, that was divided into two, and each chelek has a shiur to be misatef, and each half has 1 or 2 strings. It's not a problem of tasel min asa. It says Mishna Berura Katan Tes that tzitzis shenishu ein shem psul alayim. The tzitzis that remained have no psul. Kima de yeshem kedei shiur ituf, because they have the shiur of ituf. Al kain im yirtza yachal et saref lo isei hachatzi. Therefore, if you want to add to that half chaticha, a piece mi beged acher, v'lasit tzitzis chadashim, and make new tzitzis ala kanfas chadashim on the new corners. Certainly, from the half that you have, you could make a whole talis, because as we said, that half has kedei ituf. The hainu sheyasa beis tzitzis al kanfas hamachudashim. That is, that you make 2 tzitzis on the new corners. Now, what if I have a talis? I split it into 2. Each half has kedei ituf, and then I say, you know what? I want to join them together because I don't have strings. In other words, I couldn't find more strings. So I had a talis. I split it in half. 2 strings on one side, 2 strings on the other. Now I want to attach it because I can't find the other strings. If you want to attach the parts that were divided, some say some say you would have to first untie the tzitzis from one half and then sew it, and then sew the beged. Then when you sew the beged, you put the tzitzis on it. Because if you don't untie it, it will be tasa v'lo min asay. You hear the case? Here, let me get a piece of paper to show you. So, you have a beged, and you divide it in half, and it turns out each half is big enough for a shiur talis. So you have string coming out here, string coming out here and here. Then you say, you know what, I wanted to make 2 begadim, I can't find more strings, let me attach it together. You attach it together, some say you're going to have to take off strings from one half before you attach it together. Otherwise, by putting back together will be tasa v'lo min asay. I don't understand why there would be any element of tasa v'lo min asay over here. How's the tasa v'lo min asay? It was made b'kashrus. When it was split, each beged had a shiur talis. The Mishna Berura says, most machren mar mekel. I don't understand at all why, in what way would there be any element of tasa v'lo min asay in this case? Okay, most achronim say it's not. I'm not sure what the element of tasa v'lo min asay here is. Sif Daled. Nikra hatalis toich shloisha etzboi samach l'sas haknaf. Ein rashay l'tafrei. If a talis tore within 3 finger breadths near the edge of the corner, you're not allowed to sew it up. Upeirush Rashi explains, the chayshinon sheyishtar michorat tvira, we're afraid you'll have a loose thread. V'yanichenu, and you'll leave it. V'yosef alav shivachutim l'shem tzitzis, and you'll end up having 7 strands for the sake of tzitzis. So we're afraid that you're going to be left with some extra thread sticking out of the sewing. You're going to leave it there, and you're going to add 7 strings for tzitzis. In other words, you'll use that string as one of the strings, and you'll add another 7. And it turns out that string that you put in is you were just sewing. It was never put in for the sake of tzitzis. It was just something used for sewing. The Mechaber continues. Ulatamza, according to this reason, afilo nikra koshu la yisra. If there's any tear at all, you can't sew it up. Ulafiza talis shel tzemer shenikras toch shloisha motulis bar ha'idna dein derech lisbar b'chutei tzemer. The whole chash is what? You're going to sew it and you're going to use that string for tzitzis, but that means if you have a wool garment and a tore, you're allowed to sew it up because nobody sews with wool. You're going to sew with linen, with cotton. Sorry, not linen. You're going to sew with cotton or some other material, and it would not present the problem bisman hazeh. However, Rav Amram gives a different reason why you're not of Rav Amram, quoted by the Rosh, Perush, the taima mishum de nikra toch shloisha less beit toiras beged. Anything torn within 3 does not have the status of a garment. Ucheman de less adam, it's like it's not there. I fixed it. V'afagav de tafra. Command de pasuk chashav. It's like it's cut off. V'avid beit tzitzis, if you put tzitzis on the loy patro la talis, it's not going to pater the talis. Rav Amram is afraid that if it tears within 3, it doesn't have a Torah's beged. It's like it's not there, and even if you sewed it up, it's like it's cut off, and you can't put tzitzis there. Ula perush zeh, according to this perush, im nikra v'nishtayer koshuhu kasher. According to this perush, if it tore and a little bit remains, it's kosher. Because presumably that's not considered a real tear. We'll see in the Mishna Berura why that would be, if, according to Rav Amram, if it tore and a little bit remained, it's kosher. Some say the Rav Amram no nifsal ela tzitzia shahaya by be'eshet tvarai. Some say Rav Amram only passes the tzitzis that were on it when you sewed it. Avalam acher shetvar hitabatzis. But if after you sewed it, you put it as kosher. The Yirei Shamayim Yetzias Kulam Heichad Efshar. A God-fearing person should fulfill all 3 opinions. Rashi, that the reason why it's possible is we're afraid that you might use one of the extra strings for tzitzis, which we said that means by a wool garment it's not a problem. Rav Amram, that it's not going to have a beged, and even though you sewed it, it's like it's not there, and if you put tzitzis there, it doesn't pater it, even if you put it on after you sewed it up. But according to that explanation, if it's nishtayer koshuhu, it's okay. And the third explanation is that it's kosher if you put on the tzitzis after you sewed it up. But if you have a way to fulfill all these 3 dayos, that's the best way to go. Says the Mishna Berura, will go up till Yud Beis or Yud Gimel. Let's see. Yud Sivkat and Yud. Tarch Shlosh Shetzvos, within 3 fingers. Aval Lamal Mishosh Shetzvos, above 3 fingers. Yachal Tarv Kulayama. Everyone would agree you could sew it. The Leperish Rashi Haloi Sham Ein Makam Tzitzis. According to Rashi, you can't put tzitzis there, so we're not afraid you're going to use the leftover string for tzitzis. Kanal Bisiv Siman Yadav Ve'Ein Lachashi Kachen Al Tzitzis. We're not afraid you're going to use that strand for tzitzis. Leperish Rav Amram going is Beit Torah's beged. According to Rav Amram going, the whole chash is if it rips within 3, that piece is not a garment, but this would be a garment. Even if the corner, according to Rav Amram going, it does have a Torah's beged. Even if the corner tore completely from the garment with the tzitzis, that tzitzis kasher. This we had earlier in Sivkatan Zayin. Remember that if a corner tore off of a beged with the tzitzis, you could just sew it back on, because according to the Shulchan Aruch, it is not considered tasa v'lo min ha'asai. it's only beveged acher you're not allowed to, right? But the Mishna Berura says if you want to put back a corner onto that very garment, that is not a problem of tassel v'loy min asur because it was made b'kashrus. Here, there might be a problem if it tore within 3, but if it tore out of 3, then it's kosher. The Taz was machmer. But Taz polig, the Taz argued, u'poisek, the tzarch lahatir at tzitzis min hakanav hazeh. You have to take off the tzitzis on this corner, la'atile mechadash achar tefillin, to put it on again after the sewing, v'yesh lahachmir, and there is what to be machmer b'chanal b'siv katan zayin. Siv katan yud aleph b'chutei tzemer ella b'sharminim. Nobody sews up with wool. They use other minim. V'akol yoidim shesharminim ein paitim b'tzemer. Everybody knows sharminim doesn't pater tzemer. Im kein lo yavei l'tzarf oisei achud. You're not going to come to use that string. V'adin diyesh l'cha gam b'sharminim tavim min acher. Likewise, if let's say you have a cotton garment and you're sewing it with silk, it's also would not be a problem according to Rashi. Okay, that's Shitas Rashi, and we will delve more into the Shita of Rav Amram going Be'ezus Hashem tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to try to do one day Friday, and then maybe one day, maybe Sunday. Okay, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Bracha v'atzlacha. Kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.